Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you have been paying attention to the crypto market, the last 24 hours have been a little scary, especially seeing that Bitcoin is hovering between 105 and 106 and there's no real support until we fall down to 103. There's definitely a little bit of fear and panic in the market. Now keep in mind that single hour there was so much liquidation that actually took place, and just to give you an idea, over $345 million were liquidated just in that single hour, which happened just about 8 hours ago. Now keep in mind, after that liquidation we were able to find a support for majority of the altcoins, and Bitcoin was able to find a support just a little bit higher than 104,000, which was close to 104,600, while Dogecoin found a support close to 20 cents. Now keep in mind, we're still in a very good stage, but I can expect the market to do a little bit worse due to the fact that the uncertainty is building up, and until the 9th of July there is going to be a little bit of fear around among all the holders, especially the whales, and they won't be buying as large chunk, actually pushing the market back. Now that's just my estimation, especially if you pay attention to this. The Asian economies ditching the US dollar with Chinese yuan, gold and Bitcoin driving the change, while diversion is definitely making a move, and this is one of the core reasons why I was mentioning there might be a little bit downside left before the market is able to show an upside potential. While experts predict timeline for Dogecoin to hit $2 and Dogecoin falls 10%, the price is struggling, but the major catch emerges, while 4 billion pulled into Bitcoin ETF just in the last 10 days. Now before we get into the full details, if you guys are here for the first time, you want to stay up to date with everything to do with the crypto market, scroll down, tap the red subscribe button, and you want to stay up to date with every little detail, make sure you turn on your notification, because you need to get to the videos quickly so you can stay up to date with the latest and the greatest news first. And drop a like on it. Let's go for a like goal of 47. We've been smashing all of them, so I really love you guys. You guys are all legends. Now first of all, as the market dropped, I want to give you a little bit of perspective. I feel like a lot of people were misunderstanding what happened where the price dropped from 22 cents all the way down to 20 cents. Now, I know it doesn't seem like a far fetch, but that's close to a 10% decline in a single hour. Now, what happened? Well, in simple terms, it's just a rolling effect, just to give you an idea, because usually what's going to happen is there's going to be a whale that will decide to sell. There's going to be a pullback, and when there's a very heavy leverage plays being done, and if the leverage is very high, what's going to happen? Well, they're going to get liquidated, and then the next one's going to get liquidated, and there's going to be a free fall that's going to be happening. And that's exactly what Dogecoin and just majority of the crypto market experienced, until we come to a point where there is a lot of limit orders that get triggered, usually a very strong support. And when that happens, that's where the market usually finds a little bit of a slowdown period, or as we know, it's consolidation zone. Now you can see that currently the market did try to make a little recovery because a lot of limit orders were hit, and in the next 3 hours it tried to make a recovery, but then there was a little bit of selling, or to be more precise, panic selling, and then put the market into a consolidation zone. Now from here, it's going to be very crucial to try to defer what's going to happen. Now if we talk about Dogecoin, you guys can see we're pretty much seeing the explosion, which was at the start of May. And keep in mind, May has always been the best performing month for Dogecoin and majority of the crypto market. And June is just about to begin. Like, it's just about like 24 to 48 hours away. And after that, there is going to be a little bit of a winter phase that you can talk about. But keep in mind, if 9th of July plays out properly, just if you have been following the news, it's very clear that Trump, tried to put a lot of tariffs, but there is a lot of courts which have denied his tariffs. On the 9th, he is going to be trying to pretty much have some sort of trade deal with the European Union, and they're trying to come up with a trade themselves. If they're able to come up with a trade deal and just the tariffs get scraped all together, let me tell you, that's going to be the best news that the crypto market would need to ensure that, the uncertainties are slowly starting to fade away and the market is able to make a crazy recovery. And the second thing, which was very, very strong, was the uncertainty of China and the US trade, because one of the secretaries clearly came out and mentioned a very important stage, which is China is stalling. Stalling in a simple terms is they're just taking their time and they're trying to stretch out this period of uncertainty as much as possible. Now you can see those two things coming together can be very huge. And talking about the vice president, which is Vance, Bitcoin critics are wrong. Bitcoin is a way of storing value in the modern digital age. Trump's net worth, if you guys have been paying attention, has pretty much doubled ever since he's come into power, like close to 2024, start of 2024. You look at his net worth, it's close to 2.5. Right now, it's close to 5 billion. Now, it's not just directly from him, but majority of the companies he owns, which are like online firms and things like that, they're clearly just buying crypto. It's very clear, and even his family is getting strongly involved with crypto. So over time, just for himself to make profit, he will like to push crypto. That's just my ideology in terms of what's currently happening on the back end. And another thing is the UK Reform Party leader says he will make Bank of England hold Bitcoin. This is huge because keep in mind, UK has been one of the strongest, or not strongest, but one of the hardest one for the entire market to be able to bring them into cryptocurrency, and they have been very strongly against it as well. Now, them actually coming out and let's just say the party leader mentioning that they want the Bank of England to start holding Bitcoin, this would be completely game changing, and it would definitely make it much better, and anticipation for crypto to do better will become bigger. And SEC says crypto staking on proof of stake network does not involve securities. And for the people who do not know, Grok explained this very well. So the SEC statement means crypto staking on proof of stake network, like locking up Ethereum to earn rewards, likely isn't a security, so it faces fewer regulation. This could make staking easier, encouraging innovation, and crypto industry has pushed for clarity. However, critics argue that conflicts with the court ruling that labeled some of the staking as security, potentially leaving the investors unprotected without required disclosures. Now, so in simple terms, just to give you an idea, so if you do decide to stake away your Ethereum, if there's any problems that happens, well, you can't actually claim anything, and there's not going to be any sort of thing that you can actually work with. Now, if it is a lot more clear and it is regulated, there will be a lot easier for them to keep their money protected. That's pretty much what that means. And tariff tensions, the Bitcoin market is at its lowest point, and overall that is causing a little bit of panic. But one thing that is not panicking is the amount of whales that have actually purchased Bitcoin, which is 20,000 just in the last 2 days after a little bit of an uncertainty. And analysts say Dogecoin could rally to $2.50 is a sweet dream that may soon become reality. And another thing is Thailand eyes restrictions on Bybit, OKX, and 3 other crypto platforms. As more crypto platforms are going through some problems, let's just say Thailand is trying to become crypto hub and allow for tourists to use crypto as a form of payment, but at the same time ensure that some of the different exchanges pretty much trading in their country need to have a little bit more regulations. An Indian government to release the crypto policy discussion paper next month. Big deal, because they have been very against it, but now it's slowly starting to become better. And as I mentioned, Reform UK to accept Bitcoin donations. And this is interesting because they mentioned how Bank of England will have Bitcoin reserve, and at the same time they're starting to use crypto as form of donations for their party. So overall, the market is still in a very good condition. It's just a little bit of uncertainty which is causing the market to have a little bit of a pullback. Be patient, not financial advice. Take your own time, and I will see you soon.